So this is how you can learn Korean in your sleep. But first, let me explain you why you want to do that. So research has shown that it takes 2,200 hours to master Korean. And that's a lot. That means you have to immerse yourself in the language 2,200 hours. So it doesn't matter if this is now like a textbook, like a conversation, like a media or something. This is just a rough number. But if we now calculate that and we take those 2,200 hours and say you learn Korean every day for 1 hour, and that's already a lot. Like some people just learn 50 minutes or 30 minutes. 1 hour is already really diligent. And that means you would take 6 years to master Korean. Yeah, and by that number, it totally makes sense to think about how we can accelerate our learning speed. Because most of us don't want to wait 6 years until they master Korean, until they can have a conversation in Korean with a Korean native. And therefore, we have to think about what we can do in order to accelerate our learning progress. And here comes sleep mode mastery. So sleep mode mastery, simply put, means that you master the skill of learning a language in your sleep. This is how it works. Every day you immerse yourself into a language, you start giving input into your brain. And your brain needs time to structure those new content. For example, vocabulary. This is very tangible because you should learn vocabulary every day. And when you do this, let's say you have a habit at 5 p.m. every day, you learn your 5 new vocabulary. What you will see is that it's really hard to learn those new vocabulary. However, when you now go to sleep and on the next day you recover them again, then it's so much easier. And that's simply because you have those neurons inside your brain everywhere. And simply you can imagine one neuron is one vocabulary, your language brain. And while you sleep, doesn't matter how long you sleep, like 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, whatsoever, your brain is building those associations, those connections between the neurons inside your brain. So what it's doing, your brain is basically, it's find between vocabularies, connections, and therefore those speed to recover them and to memorize them gets much faster. And we need as many as of these associations as possible. And the same thing happens when you then go into a conversation and then you use this vocabulary, then your brain suddenly makes click and then it can build new connections between your neurons. And to make this simple, in order to use the sleep mode effect, you have to learn a language every day. And this is why it's the absolutely most crucial part in learning a language, that you do it every day, daily. Yeah. And when I say daily, I don't mean just learning vocabulary every day. I mean everything. You have to learn self-study. You have to deconstruct Korean conversations. You have to learn vocabulary. You have to practice with a teacher. You have to talk with strangers, Korean natives, every day. It's absolutely the most crucial part. I would say if you do this, then because of the sleep mode mastery, you can pretty much accelerate your progress by 50%. Yeah, there are other strategies out there which help you also to accelerate your progress. But really, the sleep mode effect is by far the most easiest one to use. And therefore, your goal is to absolutely get into the habit of practicing language daily. So if you compare it, for example, like someone who's practicing Korean for 15 minutes each day to someone who's like once in a week. So doing that distributed on 7 days or on 1 day at all makes a huge difference. So the second person who is at this goal of doing it everything in 1 day, first of all, there's also capacity. Your brain is only capable of a certain amount of new information every day. And even if you have the goal of, and you have the time of doing over 1 hour, it's impossible because your brain is pretty soon not capable of new information. Pretty much 1 hour later it happens. But yeah, your brain can also be trained. When you go into your journey, Korean journey, then your brain will be more capable of more new information every day. Yeah, you can slowly go from 1 hour, 1.5 hour, 2 hours if you want so. And usually in the beginning, people are very motivated and therefore they can compensate that their brain isn't capable, but they are motivated. So it also works somehow, but you also yeah, you will definitely go on a down way and then on a valley, and then you have to go up again by getting those experience. And the thing is with sleep mode mastery is that you can empty your brain. The new information that you can absorb every day, like in your sleep, on the next day, it's empty again. You have an empty sheet of paper, you can fill with new information, and then you just put it inside, and then you wait until your brain structured it inside your neural network, and then on the next day again, you start over again with new information. And that's absolutely powerful. If you think about every day you miss, I call that 0 days, a day where you don't practice your language, you lose this kind of fact of your brain is capable of new information. So you lose. It's not about gaining, it's really about losing a day. And it's, yeah, very sad. And there are also people who are like, but today I feel tired, I don't feel like I'm 100%. But yeah, honestly, 50% is better than 0%. So it's absolutely crucial to get into the habit into practicing a language daily. And if you're interested to learn more about it, how you can achieve that, check out my other videos, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.